I've always been a solitary person. My life was made up of gray weekdays and monotonous work. But everything changed that day when I found it. A diary, old and worn by time, hidden in the wall of my new apartment. The first pages were written in the neat handwriting of someone named Andrew G., who lived in this house over 100 years ago. He described his life, his thoughts, his fears. I read his entries every evening, and with each page, I felt like I was getting closer to this person. But soon, I noticed oddities. Events from the diary began to repeat in my life. At first, they were trivial things. I met people with the same names as Andrew's friends, or I accidentally found items he mentioned. I tried to convince myself that these were just coincidences. However, when I read about his love and subsequent madness, I realized it was no joke. The diary described how he met the woman of his dreams, Emily. And that same day, I met her, my Emily. She was just as beautiful, just as mysterious as in the readings. We started dating, and I was happier than ever. But the diary continued its story. Andrew wrote about how his love turned into obsession, how he began to see betrayals and infidelity in Emily that weren't there. I tried not to read further, but I couldn't stop. And then my madness began. I became jealous of Emily with everyone she crossed paths with on the street, with every glance she cast aside. I began to see enemies where there were none. In the diary, Andrew described how he killed Emily in a fit of rage and then took his own life. I was on the edge. I didn't want to repeat his fate, but the diary was pulling me toward it. I began to have nightmares in which I committed terrible acts. I was afraid to sleep, afraid to be alone. And now, as I sit here, in front of these pages, I feel my consciousness slowly slipping away from me. I don't know what's real and what's not. I don't know if I can resist the dark fate that this diary predicts for me. I'm afraid that when I turn the next page, I'll find out how my story ends.